and talk about perfection. And I gotta be honest, we all struggle with that perfectionist thing a little bit. I gotta be honest, I was like getting ready for the presentation. Then I was like, damn, I'm being a perfectionist. I'm about to tell people to stop being perfectionists, but I'm trying to be a perfectionist while telling them not to be perfectionists. So the reason why I'm bringing this up is because this is like the number one excuse. I'm gonna call it what it is. It's the number one excuse that people make when it's time for them to produce something, right? Like it's time for you to get out there and create something. Let's do it. And it's like, oh, I don't know everything. I don't have all of the pieces in place. And it's like, guess what? Those things don't really matter, right? The thing about um, the thing about living, right, on this earth or whatever is nobody really expects you to be perfect anyway. So the cool thing is you're allowed to make mistakes, and that perfection mentality that you're thinking that people have on you, it's made up. That's what you're thinking that people expect of you, but most people don't expect you to be perfect. We're all humans and we're expected to make mistakes. It's just a natural part of life, right? Success and failure is a part of success. It's not the opposite. So I just wanted to talk about it's okay to make mistakes, right? And what made me think about this, I am publishing a book. You can see it here, and I'm going through the book. And I'm like, man, there's a lot of mistakes in here. I'm like, I'm never going to get through correcting all of these mistakes. And that's not the objective, right? The objective is not for the book to be perfect because I can always adjust. I can always adjust along the way. I can always correct these mistakes, right? Like my first book, we hit number one seller with a bunch of mistakes in it, right? How we hit number one seller with a bunch of mistakes because people aren't paying attention, that much attention to those mistakes, right? Even further, the people that are paying attention to those mistakes, guess what? They're likely not part of your crowd, or they likely won't work with you or something like that. If somebody's going to find this little small mistake and that's going to bother them about working with you or being your friend or something like that, they're not your tribe, and that's okay. We're not here to serve and please everyone. We're here for who we're here for, right? So bottom line in all of this is it's okay to make mistakes. And this comes up a lot with the students and clients that I'm encouraging to do video, right? To get on video marketing and showcase yourself in video so people can get to learn and understand who you are. And we're so worried about being perfect and getting the message right, like right away, that we never get anything done. We get that analysis paralysis, right? So we get that analysis paralysis and we never get like a product, right? So one of the things I like to say is you need a checkpoint, right? And it's not going to be perfect. Like you don't come out, there's like the baseball reference. You don't come out swinging home runs. You got to get some singles, right? First, you got to learn to walk, then you got to learn to run. You got to do all this stuff in order for you to be hitting home runs. And then even still, you're not going to hit it 100% of the time. But that's not all that's required. I don't know baseball too well, but you don't even need like 100% of the time to be like in the Hall of Fame or something weird like that. Who knows? I forgot. But bottom line is it doesn't have to be perfect. But what you want to do is you want to try your best, right? Try your best and get a checkpoint. And what does it mean? A checkpoint. A checkpoint is, okay, so let's go, we're talking about video. If you're trying to do video marketing in your business, you got to get one video done, right? This way you get a checkpoint. A checkpoint is, let's just Google it. All right, so definition of checkpoint: a point at which a check is performed. Vehicles, where that's in regards to cars, but you get it, right? Checkpoint, checkpoint. So when you're doing something, right, especially when I'm talking about like creating video, get you a checkpoint. Get you a checkpoint so you can know where you can improve and what you need to do for next time, right? So you always ask me, how can I do this? How can I do that? Well, first we need to know where you are, right? You want to do more video? So let's get a checkpoint. Do a video, right? Get the video out, and then we can talk about how we can improve and expound upon that particular video, right? So get a checkpoint, right? And the checkpoint is not going to be perfect. Nothing you do will be perfect. It's unlikely. Most of the stuff that we do is going to be perfect. Mistakes happen. Next, right? What about all of the critics? Which is really not like what it's not a specific industry, but you hear people say, "Oh, the haters." People always swear they got all these haters. We don't got that many haters. That many people don't care about us, right? So, what if you do have haters, right? Or people that criticize you? Because it's mostly just people with criticism. It's not haters. If somebody got criticism, uh, just be mindful of the criticism. You don't have to take personal. You don't have to take it personal or anything like that. It's just criticism. People aren't typically hating on you. It's not. It doesn't really work that way most times. So anyway, what do you do about the criticism and the haters? One of my favorite rebuttals for the criticism and the haters, right, is show me. Right. So as an example, this guy, I did like a whiteboard video and I was explaining one of my upcoming classes. And yeah, I could have did much better. It's always easy to play Monday morning quarterback, is what they call it, right? I could have did it better. I could have came up with a slideshow presentation, but I intentionally did not do that. And to be honest, I did not feel like doing that. I didn't want to do that. So I just put together a whiteboard presentation and I told them what they were coming to get in the class. And the guy said, you should what? He said, you should do this. And I said, okay, you know what? I appreciate that. Why don't you show me? Right? So the bottom line is if you got haters or criticisms, people want to give you feedback, right? And you happen to need a rebuttal or you happen to need something to say something back or you need the right mentality, right? To test their metal, right? Why don't you tell them to show you? Oh, that was a good video, Jerome. Next time you should do this. Okay, why don't you show me? Lead by example, right? And not just show me. I don't want you to go show me somebody else's. I want you to lead by example, right? So that's a good way to retaliate to people that's a good way to retaliate to criticisms. If someone has some feedback for you, tell them to show you, right? And don't show me somebody else's stuff. Show me. You lead by example, right? So if you think somebody's hating on you or you don't appreciate the criticism, just tell them to show you. That's great. Why don't you show me? And I'm a bit confrontational, so I'll say it straight up. Show me, right? Lead by example versus, oh, why don't you show me? But same point. Somebody got some criticisms or some feedback for you. Tell them to show you. Tell them to lead by example. People got so many ideas and theories and concepts. When it's time for application, it's a different story. So have them show you. Next, I wanted to show this Grant Cardone video, and you can say what you want about this guy, right? And I have my opinions about him as well. Never met the guy, I just got opinions. But this is a very valid video, and I want you to watch it. So let's do a screen share.
Why can't everybody be? Why can't everybody be rich? Why can't everybody have something? Why can't everybody have water? Why can't everybody have food? Why can't everybody be successful? You know why? Because you got a bunch of freaking lies sitting on you, okay? And you can't get up from the lies. You can't do anything from the lies.
So this isn't even the main point of the video, but one thing immediately that I appreciate is the fact that he's telling the truth, right? People aren't doing things. So that's not the main point of the video. You're going to see the main point, but that's the point. People always talk. What are you doing? What are you doing? So
think you're going to quit. Like the perfectionist. The perfectionist is a liar, stuck in a lie. I'm just a perfectionist. No, you're not, dude. You don't do anything.
So that's the point that I wanted to make of the video. The perfectionist. You saying you're a perfectionist, you're a liar, right? You're not doing anything. And I've been saying this for a long time. People always say that I'm a perfectionist. I've been a perfectionist myself, right? And you can we can flash over to my website. We can visit my website, right? And we can check out, like, this stuff is like littered in my DNA, basically. Every test, every assessment that I take, the same results come up, right? So basically this behavior assessment, like the D stands for dominance, and then I've got a high C, right? The C stands for compliance. That means somebody that cares about details, those fine details, very accurate. So my C is so high. And it's like, okay, like, yes, like, if you pay attention to my assessments, all of my stuff, even if you talk to me, I'm very exact, very specific. I care about so many details, right? But I don't use it to hold me back, right? So the point is, you can make up and you can say, I'm a perfectionist all you want. But the bottom line is, you are making excuses and you are a liar. You are scared to take the necessary action, right, to move forward. And say that instead of saying that you're a perfectionist, because You're just dressing up excuses in nice clothing, which is what he said here. So let's go back and let's replay it, what he's saying.
Perfectionist. They're perfectionist. You know why? Because you got a bunch of freaking lies sitting on you. Okay, and you can't get up from the lies. You can't do anything for the lies. You think you're going to quit. Like the perfectionist. The perfectionist is a liar, stuck in a lie. I'm just a perfectionist. No, you're not, dude. You don't do
Yeah, you ain't doing nothing, right? You ain't doing nothing.
anything. Perfection is a nice word for no production. You have figured out how to say something nice about yourself when the truth is you just don't do anything because you're selfish.
And that's another point that I like to drive. People always think it's not about you. Like there has to be like a fine balance between what's for you and what's for people, right? We have to balance it out. So at some point, yes, we want to be selfish and build up ourselves, but not to the point where it's greed, like complete greed, right? So for my Christians, right? Because I identify with Christian theology, right? For the Christians, what is the main message, the golden rule? It is treat others how you want to be treated, right? That's like the whole Bible. If you want to take something from there, right, on the commandments, that's what he said, do. Treat others how you want to be treated, right? So imagine for a second, you are looking for some kind of information or you need to be helped and it's not out there, right? That's what you are doing for people. That's what you are doing to people worrying about being a perfectionist. We got to stop being so selfish, right? The more selfless you are, right? The more selfless you are, intentionally selfless, the more wealth you accumulate, right? The more you do for people, the more will be returned to you. And I'm not trying to make this all about material items, right? Because you get some people, when you start talking material, I'm not here for that, I'm here for God. Whatever. If you're here for God, then you still the same idea, right? Make sure you are not being selfish. Make sure you're not being selfish. So let's listen. Let's play the rest of this video.
Perfectionists are selfish people. They're worried about how they're going to look rather than, let me get my product out to the marketplace. I can change it later. I can fix it later. I can do it again later.
All right, and that's the bottom line. Like the bottom line is you can fix it later. You can change it later. It's not going to be perfect, right? People are, oh, my video, I didn't know. You can make another video. You can edit the video. It's so much that you can do. So using perfection as an excuse these days is very selfish. And I'm going to call you on it if I hear you say that. We're all perfectionists. And I just showed my assessment, right? I am high on trying to be a perfectionist, but I'm selfless enough to know that that does not matter. What matters more than me being selfish and being a perfectionist is the message that I have to deliver to people, right? The mission that I'm here to serve, the purpose that I'm here to serve. So that's that. Let me see. So it's okay. It's okay to make mistakes. If someone has criticisms about you, right, that you don't appreciate, retaliate. Tell them to show you with an example. Lead by example, right? And watch how much that criticism dies down. Watch how many excuses they come up with. And stop using the word perfectionist. Perfectionist means, just like the video we just saw, you're making excuses, right? And you're finding a way to say something nice about yourself for not doing what you're supposed to be doing. All right, so that's enough for my rant. Perfectionism, right, is robbing you and those you love. So don't let it happen. Make a difference. I will talk to you soon. Bye-bye.